Hi, hi, a very good evening. Today I will going to start my presentation on my research proposal. Allow me to first share my screen. Okay, my research proposal here is titled Impact of Digitalization on the Efficiency and Quality of Oil Palm Plantation Operations in Malaysia. So before I start off this presentation, I'll just go through briefly on what is going to be presented today. Firstly, I'll bring you through on what is the current condition or what is the industry condition of in the oil palm industry now, and then what are the challenges faced by the oil palm plantation industry, and then I will take you through to what are the objective of our research, and then finally on the methodology and also the research theory and framework. Okay, for a brief introduction, here we can see the oil palm plantations at a glance. In terms of geographic distribution, oil palm plantation is actually distributed quite widely. What I've shown here is that I selected three main oil palm plantation company in Malaysia. First, on your top left, you can see is Genting Plantation. It has a number of it has 33 estates, also known as plantation here, with a total land bank of 243,200 hectares. It's a huge land bank and widely distributed throughout Malaysia and Indonesia. The next you can see is on SD Guthrie. It has more than 100 uh it has more than 500,000 land hectare of land bank, also spread out in Malaysia, Indonesia, Papua New Guinea, and Liberia. But of course, Liberia has been sold. It has been divested in 2019. Whereas the bottom part you can see is a snapshot of the upstream operations for FGV, where total planted area of 344,472 hectares, where most of it are coming from the oil palm sector, while the rest are from rubber and others. That is in terms of geographic distribution. Next, this is on the foreign workers employed by oil palm plantations in Malaysia. As you can see, we those bars, this is taken from the research conducted by Faiza in 2010. Is estimated total workforce in oil palm cultivation in Malaysia by category of work in 2008. Unfortunately, I tried to get the more later version, but this is the current one that I have in terms of figures. As we can see here, the one in red bar, that is actually the foreign workers. You can see a lot of foreign workers are being employed, or migrant workers are being employed as harvesters, FFB collectors or fresh fruit bunch collectors, loose fruit collectors, field workers. In fact, across all the work designation, from harvesting mandor all the way to general workers, these are actually mostly contributed or mostly participated or employed but or actually done by foreign workers, whereas executive are mostly local or Malaysians. Okay, what are the challenges in adopting digitalization in oil palm plantation or oil palm companies as a whole? So first challenges is limited adoption. So based on Daliani et al. In 2021, it's noted that digitalization in oil palm plantation is limited, where technologies are only applied for yield recording, employee attendance, and crop quality for these three main sectors only. And then the availability of infrastructure also is a challenge, especially for estates that is in a very remote area, which is far off from towns or cities. This is proven in the research done by Tan et al. In 2024, where the availability and accessibility to ICT facilities or information and communication technology facilities and infrastructure in smallholder estates are limited. While it's stated here as smallholder estates, in fact, larger plantation companies, such as Genting Plantations or SDGA 3 or FGV, where the estates are further off from town centers, So they will also face challenges in terms of accessibility to ICT facilities and infrastructure. And lastly, lack of real-time monitoring. Saiful Reza Hamid et al. In 2023 stated that the lack of real-time data for monitoring and relying on manual documentation for decision making is actually a challenge in the plantation industry. So what is the main research questions that I have here? Actually, for this research, I plan to look into these three questions. Whether is there any relationship between implementation of digitalization against the productivity or efficiency in palm oil production? And secondly, is there any relationship between implementation of digitalization and palm oil production quality? And lastly, is there any relationship between adoption of digitalization and the availability of technology infrastructure in the oil palm estate? Okay, the hypothesis and proposition. On the first question, on the relationship between the implementation of digitalization and operational productivity or efficiency, um, based on the research or based on the journal's review, Maslida et al. In 2023 stated that the implementation of digitalization or digitization is needed in the industry to minimize human resource usage, where technology helps to reduce costs and increase productivity. Secondly, on the relationship between implementation of digitalization and production quality, Gulam Kardi et al. In 2023 stated that digitalization of the farming processes will interrelate all the sensors, computer processes, machines, and monitoring system, thereby enhancing monitoring capacity and productivity. And lastly, on the relationship between adoption of digitalization and availability of technological infrastructure, Tan et al. Stated that all palm plantation smallholders agree and recognize that the importance of information and communication technology and smart devices in smallholder areas. So there, based on the research or based on the journal review, they are indicators that there are positive relationship between the implementation of digitalization with operational productivity and efficiency. Their relationship between implementation of digitalization and production quality, as well as the adoption of digitalization and the availability of technology infrastructure. Next, on the research model and framework, for this research, we will be using the theory of digital transformation. Mergal et al. In 2019 explained that use of new technologies or digitization in this sense is needed for an organization to stay competitive, enable services and products to be delivered both online and offline, rebuild business by using new technology to fit the needs of customers, where in oil palm setting or oil palm industry, the customer here would be the mill, where the estate will produce fresh fruit bunch. The fruit bunches will be sent to the mill for milling, and then what you produce is the CPO. And then another layer of customer here is the refinery, where the refinery will purchase the CPO to be refined and produce what we know as our cooking oil or olein, which is the cooking oil that we use in our everyday consumption. And then, of course, with digitalization and technology also helps to transform the delivery in service modes in accordance with customer needs. Marga also stated that technology is facilitated by the expansion and availability of smart devices, which enables real-time monitoring and updates. Furthermore, Ince et al. In 2019 explained that digital transformation will result in paradigm shift, where it's characterized by hyper-connectivity and collaboration within organization across the value chain activities, where what we are looking at for this research is the connectivity between estate, which is the producer of fresh fruit bunch, and then the mill, the next value chain user, the mill, which will purchase the fresh fruit bunch to produce crude palm oil, as well as the refinery, which is further down the value chain that purchases crude palm oil or CPO to produce refined products such as cooking oil. Next, the methodology will be on data collection, the questionnaire adopted from the research conducted by Contage and Vidicki in 2017 to test the following factors. Firstly, on digital mindset, where the users will prioritize digital solution and openly explore digital opportunities. And then we look at digitized practices, automated data-driven decisions to encourage collaborative learning, empowered talent, which is develop digital skills, increase engagement. And lastly, on the data access and collaboration tools, this will increase the use of real-time data and introduce collaboration tools between the units of the estates and mills within the value chain. Okay, the methodology here is that I propose to I propose that the questionnaire will be distributed to 40 estate managers and mill managers in Malaysia, and the respondents will rate the following factors using a Likert scale of 1 to 5, where 1 indicates strongly disagree and 5 indicates strongly agree. The 5 factors are, as I mentioned earlier, this is on digital first mindset, to optimize. This is to actually test or get the feedback on optimization and leveraging on the use of digital solutions where available. And employees here be the manager and all his staff will consider implementation of technologies as part of business or operational improvement. In terms of practices, the estate managers and mill managers are to rate whether how digitized their operations are, whether the decisions they made as a manager or as a manager of an operating unit, whether it's data-driven decisions and whether they are collaborative planning between the estate, which is different operations within the estate, or with the mill, whether there are any collaboration in terms of learning each other's operations as well. And on talent, whether the users here could be the staff or could be the mandor, whether they have got the technological experience or digital skills to actually use the mobile devices or to manage or to record the data. And then whether they are highly engaged, where they are looking forward to learn new technologies and to cultivate new skills in using new technological applications to actually assist them in their work. And lastly, on data access and collaboration tools, this we will be looking at the access of data to the estate and to the mill, and whether while they have got the data, whether they have any tools to collaborate between the producer, fresh fruit bunch producer, the estate, and also the mill, which is the user or the customer or the fresh fruit bunch to produce crude palm oil, whether there are any collaboration tools between this producer and also the buyer. And then any real-time customer data, for example, when the mill finds that the quality of the fruit is not good, so any real-time customer data that can be feedback directly to the estate, which is the producer, and also integrated operations data where both the mill and the estate, they can look at the final data, the oil produced, the quality of oil produced, the fresh fruit branch produced, the quality of fresh fruit branch produced. This will be helpful to both the estate as well as the mill to improve their operations. And the expected outcomes for this research is actually to highlight the importance of digital transformation for oil palm plantation industry, especially for upstream, which is the estate and mill operations. And then to look at the relationship between digitalization and on the operational efficiency and real-time monitoring of production. And then by proving a positive relationship, then the estates and mills, they can rely on the use of technology to reduce paperwork and to improve on monitoring time. And then also the successful adoption of digitalization will provide managers and users with real-time data to track the production data and quality. And finally, with the real-time data available, it could also facilitate decision-making for manpower allocation and reducing wastages through off-specification products and FFP losses. So thank you so much for listening in to my presentation and appreciate for taking your time on this. Thank you so much.